There are 3 key elements for successful prospecting that you, the coach, can focus on. Number 1, qualified leads and referrals. Number 2, helping your reps create call openings that engage customers quickly. And number 3, absolute tenacity. Let's be honest. One of the reasons a lot of people aren't very good at prospecting is because they don't actually do it, or they don't do it often enough. So let's unpack these 3 things in order. First off, qualified leads. In this age of the internet, blind cold calling doesn't work very well. Most of the customer's journey is actually online, even in a B2B sale. So if you want to help your reps get better at prospecting, make sure they know how to qualify leads. All leads are not equal. Now, the second piece, and this is a skill piece, is you as a coach need to help your reps craft compelling call openings. There's a 3-part technique that works. You can use it in person, over the phone, or in writing. I call it the you, me, you technique. So I'm going to share it with you, but first, let's look at how most people open a sales call. They typically say, "Hi, I'm Joe, I'm with XYZ company, and I want to talk to you about our new products," or "I want to talk to you about your business." What happens? The customer either says yes, or they say no. If they say no, it's over. But even if they say yes, it flips the call back to the rep, and the rep is probably going to launch into a pitch with no real information about the customer. That's not effective in a prospecting call. So here's how the you, me, you technique works. First off, the rep says something about the customer. Then they say something about their expertise, and then they flip it back to the customer. So here's an example of what it might look like. And now this requires the rep to do some homework. But if they've done a little research on the customer, they might say something like this. "I know 80% of your business is in the construction space. A lot of people in your industry are finding it challenging to maintain their profit margin because labor costs are increasing and customers are price shopping." Now, that's the you part. That's about the customer. Now, the rep says something about their expertise, something like, "We've helped a lot of firms improve profit margin and reduce waste." Now, at this point, it would be very easy for a rep to say, "Can I talk to you about that?" But what would happen? The customer might say no, or if the customer says yes, the rep would just slide into some description about how they can help the customer. Sounds good, but this is a prospecting call. We want to learn more about the customer. So that's where the 3rd part comes in, the you part. It goes back to the customer. In this case, the rep can say something like, "I'd like to ask you some questions about how you're managing this situation." And you see, with that, the rep is opening up a conversation with the customer instead of just a one-way pitch. Now, they had to do their homework, so they had to plan an area of interest that would engage the customer. They have to take the time to plan the opening so they'll be focused on the customer. It wasn't just that generic, "Oh, tell me about your business." It was really well planned. It was you, area of interest to the customer. Me, I might be able to help you with this. Very short, I have some expertise. Then back to you. Let's talk about your situation, customer, in this area. So when you teach this technique to your reps, and you can simply just show them this video, what you'll find is you'll dramatically improve their win rate on prospecting. And that leads me to the 3rd element. Just do it. Sales can be a real numbers game, and it might take people in your industry 5 prospecting calls to get a qualified lead, or it might take 25. I mean, you know your numbers. But if it takes 25 calls to get 1 good prospect, and you want 3 sales, it's pretty simple math. You need to do 75 calls. 72 of those calls are not failures. They're the 72 calls you had to make to get your 3 wins. So make sure your team knows their numbers. So the 3 elements, qualified leads, whether you do it or they come in from somewhere else. Take the time to plan. Use the you, me, you technique to plan a compelling opening. And the 3rd, rinse and repeat. Consistent activity is the key. Now, if you sell something that you believe in, if your reps sell something that they believe in, prospecting shouldn't be awful. It's simply about finding the people and places where you can add value.